Hi, and welcome back to the Coda Financial Coaching YouTube channel, where we talk all things savings, budgeting, investing, and preparing for your financial freedom. Today, I wanted to talk about something that really bothered me in the Dave Ramsey Facebook forum. Now, on those forums, it's very dogmatic. It's very one size fits all the time, sticking to Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. And I actually, 99% of the time, I can appreciate that. His 7 baby steps have changed countless lives. Millions of people have successfully followed them, gotten out of debt, kicked bad habits, and achieved wealth through following them. But sometimes, like any dogma, this can be taken too far. And yesterday, I saw a comment that finally really set me off. And it was this young lady, young mom, and she had her picture there with her kid. And she was asking the forum about a co-op that she uses. So she's actually an owner in this co-op, and she lives out in the country. She has a farm out in the country, and she goes into this co-op that's basically a country store and a gas station to get supplies. She drives in, and there's a charge account there. So she'll charge gas and grain, maybe some food, maybe some pet food for her farm animals, or for the animals, I guess, that live as pets on her farm. And she'll pay up the account completely next month. And she was just simply asking, how do I budget for this? And rather than coming in with comments to help her fit this into her budget, to help her budget for this, to help her mesh this with the Dave Ramsey method, I would say 95% of the comments were just a barrage of, no, this is debt. This is not the Dave Ramsey method. This is not the forum for you. You need to cut it up. You need to completely never go back to that co-op. And nobody actually tried to understand her situation. You know, she could be living way out in the country, and maybe this is the only gas station or store that she has within miles. And maybe that store is old school and it doesn't have any way to process a debit card or to handle cash. Maybe is just the owner charging people and then having you settle up your account each month, which is the way it used to be done in a lot. Their trade credit, even before we had all these debt problems and credit cards, like millions of Americans used to go to stores, have an account with the store and pay it up just fine every month. So in other words, I don't think this lady had a problem with debt, yet she was coming into one of these forums and being blasted for not following the method, or basically being told to get out of the forum. And of course, she ended up, this poor lady, turning off the comments in response to her post. I was going to respond with some ideas, but she didn't even get a chance to hear those, and she's probably never going to return back to that forum or follow the Dave Ramsey method again, because people were just frankly horrible and not trying to understand her situation. So, first of all, everybody is different. There are different ways to handle, based on your past behavior and your future goals, different ways to handle achieving your goals and securing financial freedom. And I just want to go over kind of what I would have told this lady, what I did try to tell this lady before she was lambasted on the Ramsey Facebook forum. So first of all, I want to say that, like I said, I love Ramsey. Millions of people have followed his method, but unless Dave wants to open up his books and show that he has no accounts payable, in other words, that every time that he gets a bill, that same day he cuts a check to that person and mails it to that person, or better yet, wires it so that money is out of his account and into their account, he can't say that dogmatically debt is never a good thing. Now, of course, Dave Ramsey probably gets his bills, he gets his invoices, he sees that it's due within 30 days, and then he pays it on time. I'm sure that's what happens, which is basically what this lady was doing. It's just an ordinary, customary expense that she has to manage her life out in the country. So I would have suggested a couple different ways to handle this that other people weren't suggesting this. The first one is to use software such as You Need a Budget. So You Need a Budget, unlike Dave Ramsey software, you can earmark dollars that you have now for future expenditures later. So in other words, this lady, she could have tracked what she was spending at this store, and she could have put it in You Need a Budget as an earmarked amount. And if that store or if that co-op didn't charge her that amount that month, she could simply take her funds that she had earmarked in You Need a Budget and use those to pay her bills next month. So that's the first thing she could have done, right? Second thing she could have done, she could have opened up a high yield savings account just like she uses for her emergency fund, and she could have earmarked money there for future expenditures. A lot of these high yield savings accounts, as I've discussed before, they have buckets that you can use to designate money for future use. So she could have set aside a bucket for money and put in money in that savings account that she didn't touch, and simply designated a bucket saying, this is for the co-op expenses for next month that I owe next month. And she could have taken it out of that savings account. So yes, rather than having to deal with actually paying cash or hunting down that person that owns that store to pay them right away, there are other ways. And I will say, based on your habits, just in general, even if you aren't a member of a co-op and you don't only have one store that you go to in the middle of the country and that's all you have available to you, if you have good spending habits, if you've kept a budget for a number of years now without any problem, I don't see any problem with you going out and getting one credit card that fits you based on the point system or the cashback or other benefits of that credit card, and using it and then budgeting for that and paying that credit card balance next month. And by the way, You Need a Budget is a tool that does exactly that. It actually automatically earmarks everything on your credit card so it can be taken out of the current cash you have and paid next month. It does that earmarking for you, so you can basically be pay as you go, even if you're using a credit card. So in other words, the moral of the story is, as successful as the Dave Ramsey method is, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. I don't care what Dave or anybody on his forum says. And if you need help figuring out the solution that fits you best, please DM me or leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to help. Until next time, happy budgeting and a prosperous financial freedom journey for you.